hello, hello. Hey, you guys. It is Wednesday. I feel like I gotta remind you guys. It is Wednesday. Wednesday. All right, let's see. It's always different when I do this vertical thing. Um, but it is what it is. So I hope everybody had a good and productive day. I hope so. It is, oh, you know what? I just thought about it. Time change Sunday. Oh my gosh, I forgot time change Sunday. Yeah, so what is it? It's 8 o'clock Central, and right now it's 9 o'clock Eastern. Wow. I don't know if you guys know, but Arizona time does not change. So it kind of throws us off because all of y'all time changes. Pacific, Central, and Eastern time changes, but Arizona time does not change. And so, yeah. So me showing up at 6 Arizona time change for y'all, but not me. Yeah, so I sure forgot. I forgot that what is it? Daylight savings time. Yeah. So I guess it's an hour. Let's see. We fall backwards in the fall and we spring forward. So I'm coming up to you guys later. That's what it is. Hey, Tanya. Now that makes sense with the time now. Yes, yes, because what you're in Ohio, so that means you're Eastern. So now this is well, no, our private Facebook group is 1 hour later. I'm thinking. Yeah, it's 1 hour later for you guys. And it is the YouTube live is 1 hour later. So yeah. Look, now I know what's going on. The time change. Hey, Hawa. Hey, God chose me. How y'all doing? Yes, yes. So I'm just sitting here chitting chatting about the time change. Make sure as you guys come in, if you have not liked the video, go ahead and like the video. I don't want you to get off or for the video to cut off and you forget. So just go ahead and like the video. Go ahead. And if you are someone new here, drop the weapon. What's the weapon? My hand? I'm sorry, I can't help it. I talk with my hands. Police Academy. Hey, do you want to donation? I don't even know who you are. But yeah, Tanya, we got it now. We got it now. The time change. So yeah, so today is part 2, you guys. Part 2. Remember, for the month of March, I am doing the shocking truths about group home businesses and what you need to know. And so last week we went over, I know a lot of people probably didn't even know that the main reason why group homes close, the number one reason is due to some type of regulation, due to something that, the group home owner or the group home organization, they were out of regulations. They were not in compliance. And so that is the main reason why group homes close. And so today we're going to be covering a very, I would say, a very time appropriate topic when it comes to group homes. It's something that it's a crisis right now. It's like one of the biggest challenges that I hear from coast to coast about group homes. Um, and what they're facing today. And so many people struggle, many group home owners struggle to hire and keep good staff. I mean, I get so many, you guys, I do consultation calls on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And that is one of the highest topics is, gosh, how do I hire people, or I need to hire people? And a lot of people want me to hire people for them. And I'm like, I don't want to take that on. I don't even hire my people now. But I'm gonna tell you, people want to pay me as a consultant just to hire their staff. They want me to vet their staff and hire their staff. I just got an email today, another email, look, in regards to, can you help me hire staff? And so it is a big issue. I tell you guys, with my employees, I'm going to give y'all some tips and tricks. It's up to you guys to do it, in regards to how I hire, which is just normal, how other people hire, and then to how I keep my employees. Why I have employees, why I have caregivers that have been with me 5 years, 3 years, all these years. They're different age ranges. I think my youngest employee right now, my youngest is 25, if I'm not mistaken. 25, yeah. And then my oldest employee is think about 62, something like that. So I have a little bit of a range. I got a new person coming in that's 19, because I'm starting like an internship type program within my group homes. And so there are things that I do. I'm not saying you got to do them, but I'm going to tell you, that's one of the biggest things. That is one of the biggest things, is why don't people want to work now? That's a lot of things. People always saying, I think they put something in the water during COVID because people don't want to work. It's just a different time, you guys. And so you have to attract the right people, and then you have to do things to keep them. And so I'm going to tell you, if you've ever had a staff call out at the last minute, or quit unexpectedly, or just disappear, because you'll get ghosted in a minute by employees, then you know how serious this problem is. You know about the caregiver shortage. I just want to give you guys, advice on what you can do to, what you can do about it. All right? Everybody all right with that? Okay. All right. So first, I like to tell people why. So factors contributing to this. There is a lot of people, not just a lot of people, but a lot of agencies. I don't know if you guys know, but they passed down a mandate at the end of 2023, I believe, to push more home-based care. Home-based care services, home-based care. They want people to stay at home because it costs more to take care of people inside of facilities. So they would rather have people go into the homes and take care of people than to have people in facility type care. That's where group homes are like the medium. You're not in a facility. It doesn't cost that $15,000 a night, but you can put them in a group home. They're in a home type environment, and you bring someone in to take care of them instead of having them at home. So it's the perfect medium. And that's why I always tell people, if you want to do a group home, right now is the best time to do it. And so more seniors are choosing to stay at home than to go into nursing homes. There is a massive demand for home health aides and personal care assistants, or caregivers, or whatever they call them in your area, direct care workers. There is such a big need for them. And so fewer, caregivers want to work in residential care, honestly, because the big, hospitals and things like that have benefits. They have flexibility. Sometimes in a big facility, it may be one-on-one care, things like that, to where if they're in a group home, you know you're going to have, 4 to 10 clients. And so they don't want to manage multiple people at once. And so things that you need to do is to be competitive. You need to get people to buy into what you are doing. And so that is basically hey Hazik. Hey Hazik, how you doing? Let's see. Saucy Pride. Okay, happy birthday, Saucy Pride. I saw the birthday and I thought it was somebody else. It's my chief operations officer birthday too. And so let me give her a shout out. Happy birthday, Latoya. You know you my favorite. And so anyway, so basically what you guys want to do is you have to be competitive. You have to highlight good things about the job. You have to market yourself. I'm always talking to you guys about marketing yourself within the industry, but you also need to market yourself to employees in order to get them to buy in. Because all of these things, all of these factors, people staying at home more, people, leaving for hospital jobs and private home care, people doing those type of things is going to make the group home caregiver type person, is going to make a crisis. And so you have to do things to set yourself apart. Because what you don't want is to get caught without having enough employees. You don't want to get caught because you won't be able to take care of your clients. If you don't have enough staff, you can't take care of your clients properly. And then eventually you're going to burn yourself out because you're going to be trying to work that house by yourself. And once you burnt out, the business is burnt out. And so you just have to do things to to put yourself out there, because high turnover, burnout, all of that is reality. And all of these things can affect your business. It can affect your bottom line. Okay? All right. So let's see. So I like to focus on solutions. I done told y'all what the problem was. Caregiver shortages. That is the second, look at me stuttering. That is the second top thing on what you need to know when you're wanting to get into this group home business. There is an actual caregiver shortage. So you have to be strategic about it if this is something that you really want to do. Okay? And so things that you can do as a solution, you can pay more, offer more perks. I tell y'all all the time the things that I do to bend over backwards for my employees. I pay on the higher end. A lot of group homes will pay minimum wage, $15, things like that. I don't even know what minimum wage is. My caregivers, I start them off at 18, they end up making about 20. And that's what I pay. I'm willing to take less money to put money towards my payroll so my employees can have a higher rate of pay than other caregivers. I'm not saying, nowhere did I say that $20 an hour was, that's just a lot of money. I'm not saying that. I'm saying compared to the rate that the base rate that employees get paid for that type of job, for a behavioral health tech, for a caregiver, I pay on the higher end for a group home. And so that is one way. And it ain't all about money. Don't think that. I just said that first because most people think, oh, you got to pay them more. That is just one of the things. I offer perks. I've been over backwards for my employees. I do what they ask me to do, and I'm flexible with them. And so you have to think about that. I don't let them run me over. I let them know. I'm very upfront with my employees. I let them know what's going on, and I tell them, hey, this is how much payroll was. I do my, and I don't want to say like I do my kids, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I feel like my employees are a part of my family. So I'm very upfront with them, and I tell them things that are going on. When Medicaid stop paying, I let them know. Just to let you know, the payments are coming in really slow because of all the fraud. Because I meet with them. You have to meet with your employees. You have to get to know your employees, or you need to have someone that's doing that. Y'all know I have a chief operations officer, Latoya. Latoya is the go-to person. She is the one that is in their face now, but they know who I am, unless they're brand new. And so I just went into a house, what was it, last Friday, and we had a new employee. And when I walked out, the house manager said, "Oh, she asked me who you were." I said, "Well, what did you tell her?" And she said, "I told her you was the owner." And so I don't go in and be like, "I'm the owner." Yeah, I go in like I'm an employee, but they tell who I am. And so you just have to have that type of relationship where your employees know that they can trust you to do what you say you're going to do. My employees know when I tell them something, I'm going to do it. Okay? And so you have to have that type of relationship with your employees, or have someone that is the in-between person that has that type of relationship, because it's a new day, y'all. People don't just come to work and everything is, they just coming to work for a paycheck. No, it is a new day. I'm telling y'all, it's different now. And so there's things that you have to do to set yourself apart, because these people will jump ship, because I hear about it all the time. They will jump ship and go to another business or go to a hospital or whatever. My employees stay because I am open with them. I do things. We get we have built a lot of relationships. And if a grocer, just like I just got a call today, "Hey boss, somebody dropped off 8 pineapples, 30 pounds of turkey meat, and something else." I said, "Okay," because I've built relationships. And so people that own grocery stores, people that own farms, people that own businesses donate to my organization a lot. And so if I have an overabundance, or my freezers are full or whatever, guess what? My employees get food. So they know if there's an overabundance. Now they also know, don't take anything out of this house unless you get permission. And I've had somebody do it before. It was just like, "Well, you had all these briefs and stuff here, so I just figured you wouldn't mind because you always giving us stuff." No, it don't work like that. You ask. So there's things that you have to do to that is one of the things that I do. They know that if I get a donation, or if I get an overabundance of something, that they're going to share in that. So that's another one of my, it's not really a secret. I don't have any secrets or whatever. I'm just telling you guys things that I do in my business. I treat my organization like it's one. Like, I don't treat my employees like, "Oh, you're here to work and this and that." No, they know this. You know the job that you're supposed to do. Now, if something happens that's, a good thing for the business, then I share it with them. And so you may want to think about that with your employees. Gerald Lee said, yes, take care of your employees, the most important people. They are, because they're taking care of the clients every day. I'm not there every day. They are. And so I have to treat them well so they will want to come to work. I don't want to be that boss. It's like, because that person will be quick to leave. And so, like I said, I'm not a pushover with them, but I do give them, I've sent the transportation guy. I've had, women that don't have men in their households. And they're like, hey, I got a flat. I can't come to work. Okay, I'm going to send Kenny over and have him fix your tire. I'll have him bring you to work, and then I'll have your tire fixed by the time you get off. I do things like that because people are struggling right now. And me having AAA or roadside assistance doesn't mean my employees have it. So if there's something that you can do like that to say, oh, shoot, a tire is a couple of $100. That employee, finding a new employee is going to cost you way more than that. And so you have to think about it that way. That's a couple of $100 to me. I spend that on, you know what I'm saying? I spend that on a meal. That $200 and something for a tire may set that employee back. So you have to think of things that way to give them some type of release. Yes, Ellen, to be a blessing. That I tell y'all, I try to live like that. Be a blessing to someone else. I do what I can do. I'm not going to say I can always do the most. I had an incident with the employee recently where something happened with their car. I wanted to help, but it was over my threshold to help. But they figured it out. And I was there to support them. Well, let me know what happens. I encouraged them and they handled it. And so just things like that. Some people are out here, don't have no family, don't have no one to lean on, don't have no one to encourage them. And so at the end of the day, even if I'm not helping them financially, they know that they have someone that they can text and say, or I text them and say, hey, how's everything going? You okay? Latoya said you called in. I reach out sometimes. I'm not going to say every employee, but the house managers and things like that, I stay pretty involved because I want to make sure they good. You know why? Because they're the ones taking care of my clients. They're the ones taking care of my house. They're the ones ultimately who are making me money. So yes, I go above and beyond. And so I'm just telling y'all things that I do because this is a different day and time. and so um so let me get back to my notes. Y'all know I'll be all the way over here. So yeah, so it's not always about money. Sometimes it's about support. Sometimes it's about just showing up for people. I told y'all one time I had a house manager, was the best house manager. Well, not the best, because Miss Maria get mad at me. Miss Marie has won Employee of the Year 3 years in a row, but she was a good one. And her husband was trying to buy a house. I helped them. I paid the deposit. They paid me back, but I paid the deposit for their house because I was in a position to do that. And she was a really good employee. And I, not to say I would have lost her, but I didn't want to. And so there's things that I do. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just telling you things that I do to give you an idea. You can set your boundaries. You can set your limits on what you do in your business. But I'm telling you what I do. And so small perks like gas stipends, grocery gift cards, retention bonuses. If my house managers maintain the house and they do keep the money down, they get a bonus. So just know, keeping the electricity down, Keeping the grocery bill down. I always tell y'all about Miss Marie House. Her grocery bill for 8 people is about $100 to $150 a month. And that's it. Because she took what I said, building relationships, and that woman has built relationships all within her community. And so people literally, she just called me, hey boss, somebody from this church said that they get washing detergent and toilet paper. So we probably ain't gonna have to buy none because they said that they gonna be bringing us some by at least once or twice a month. That saves me money. Do you get what I'm saying? That saves me money because she has took what I said. She let the seed grow of building relationships, and now she has went out. It's kind of like a disciple, she has took what I fed her, and she went out and she's doing it all within her community. And so that makes me proud, it makes me happy, but it also saves me money. And so things like that, I take the I guess the money that we saved and I give them a portion of it. So you have to think of it that way. Bonuses, things like that, gas cards. If you know that your like if we have meetings and the census is down on the meetings that we have, because we like to have a meeting once a month with everybody. And so you may say, what's the mission of Best Care? And if that person knows the mission by heart, which is one of the requirements, I make my employees learn the mission of the business, then hey, you get a $50 gift card. Things like that you can write off. Y'all can write that stuff off. But that gives the employee a boost. And then other employees is like, dang, I'm going to learn that mission just in case if they call me. The more they learn it, the more they read it, the more they hear it, the more they say it, the more it gets in their heart. And that's why my employees know my mission. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so things like that. Train and certify your staff. I've told y'all, I sent my I train my staff. I try to get them certified if there's something that they want to do. And then like my social worker, I wanted to offer equine therapy, which is horse therapy, to my clients. So I sent my social worker, my licensed social worker, to get trained. This was something good for her to have under her belt to get certified as an equine therapist. But it was also good for my employees because she didn't charge me additional to take my employees to equine therapy. So I'm saying, and then two, that helps her to say, wow, they invested in me. So I'm going to hang in there and I'm going to, stay at this job because they invested in me. And I'm not saying everybody's going to do it, but I've just been blessed to have employees that stick. So yeah, let's see. I can't wait to bless people the way you do. Oh, Gerald. Yeah, be a blessing to someone else. Storm Title says, with everything that's going on with country, are group homes still able to be profitable, or are owners losing a lot of money? Is it still good to start a new home in a state like Louisiana? Okay, so Storm, honestly, the last time I checked with Louisiana, well, it depends on what type of group home. And there's a lot going on in Louisiana with insurance and all of that. So I'm not going to say that Louisiana is the perfect place to do a group home unless you're doing something like private pay senior care. So I'm not going to say that it is in Louisiana because you specifically said that. Yes, group homes are still able to be profitable. Are owners losing a lot of money? I would say if you're not running your house properly, if you're not doing the things that you need to do to run your house properly, I get calls all the time from people. And it's not that they're not making money, it's that they don't know how to manage their house. You know, we went through a whole wave where people just wanted to get licensed. But like I said, baby, if that's all you're looking for, you got another thing coming, because there's a lot that goes into managing a group home and managing it properly, okay? And so yeah. So yes, you can be profitable, and it does depend on what state you're in, and it does depend on what type of group home that you do. So I don't want you guys to think I'm generalizing this, but I'm just covering this one subject right now. So just to answer your question, yes, I said Louisiana because I own the house already. Yeah, so unless you're planning to do like a senior home and charge private pay, which would probably, I haven't did any market research recently, but if I owned a home and I was going to do a home in Louisiana, just off the top of my head, that would be something I would do. And then also too, if you are kid friendly, you might want to check in the kids, because kids is kind of like a need everywhere. So, but then you would have to do your market research, okay? But I would not do adult mental health right now in Louisiana, and I'm not even sure. No, I think their license is open right now. I think it was supposed to open in March of 2025, this month. I think it was. But so yeah. So that's my thoughts on that. The home is probably a bad idea for seniors because we don't have any bedrooms downstairs. They're all upstairs. So yeah, you may want to check in the kids maybe. Or if you're close to a state line, maybe check into, well, you said the home was in, I try to listen to people, y'all. She said the home was in Louisiana. So yeah. So just got to do your market research, Storm. But yeah, so that is the type of things that I have done. I paid for additional training so people could get the additional training. I actually used to have the training business where I was actually certifying people in caregiving, but it was just too much. So we let that go. But you want to basically, I would say, improve the culture in your workplace. The culture in my workplace is kind of like, we have our core values, you know, continual education, harmony, loyalty is at the top of my core values. So I have core values that I put up on the wall of all my homes, and I just try to stick to those. I try to award people if they're displaying that and one of the employees sees them and says, you know what, there was a situation where Marie diffused a situation and she was helping people. She displayed harmony within the business. And then that person wins what we call the BOYBB, be on your best behavior reward. And so sometimes they get a dinner, sometimes they get a lunch, but it's just so you know that people are watching you, you know? So that's another thing that we do, a award system. And I feel like that improves the culture. It improves the culture in your business. It makes it where your business isn't all this drama. I don't have a lot of drama in my business. It's a drama-free environment. I like that in my home. I don't want drama in my home, and therefore it overflows into my business because I don't want a lot of drama. But I've had people that I hire who ended up, quickly we found out they were drama. I let them go because that is something that I learned from a mentor a long time ago. Be slow to hire and quick to fire. Because if that person is toxic, toxicity, I'm trying to choose my words tonight. That toxicity can get into other employees. It's kind of like the fruit. When you put a rotten fruit next to a good fruit, guess what? It don't turn, the good fruit don't turn the rotten fruit back good. That rotten fruit turns the good fruit rotten. So you want to hire quick. I mean, you want to hire slow, fire quick. Take people off the schedule because you want a positive, drama-free environment. You don't know what people are dealing with in their home life. Therefore, when they come to work, plus they're dealing with mentally ill clients in my group home. So you want to do whatever you can do in your power to make their life drama-free. When they need groceries, they know, send the email to the grocery. You have to have systems set up. Send the email to the grocery email. And then that way someone can see the grocery list and they will have the groceries delivered to you. We just do things to make everybody's life easy. And when you set up systems within your home, everybody knows what they need to do, and it makes for less drama. Because guess what? The clients will bring the drama. So you want to do whatever you can do to relieve the drama, okay? You can't control the client. And so simple things like staff appreciation days, schedule changes, schedule flexibility, people wanting to flip, I'm down for all of that. If someone needs a day out, I had one of my house managers recently say that they were burnt out. They were neglecting their health. Guess what? Okay, what can we do? Well, is it okay if I flip to weekends? We coordinated everything, took her down to 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we put somebody else in there. That's how you keep employees, because you have to be adaptable. You have to be flexible. So now that gives her all week to focus on going to her doctor, going to her therapist, doing the things that she needs to do to be okay. And then she just wants to work the weekends because she likes to take the clients to church. So give people, be okay with giving people what they need, And I'm not saying she's going to always want to have it like that. But for now, because we can make these changes, we did it. So be flexible in your business. Don't be so quick. No, you can't have that day off. No. Now, my employees know you need to ask for a day off 30 days in advance. 30 days. That is something we established years ago. And guess what? They do it because we're so flexible with a lot of things. So that is just so we can coordinate everything. So some of my employees tell me 6 months ahead of time when they need a day off. Hey, I am going to Jamaica. I need this week off 6 months from now. Cool. We got you down. So I'm saying things like that, being organized, having systems set up. I'm not saying just be willy-nilly. I'm saying, you see how I said you have to tell us 30 days ahead of time? Some people would be like, dang, 30 days? But that is something that we established, and our employees stick to that because that is a boundary that we set. So I'm just saying, you set boundaries, but you still have to be flexible to let them do what they need to do to be a happy, satisfied employee. And then, just targeted recruitment. We only go through Indeed and referrals. A lot of my employees are referrals from people that work from us. They were pleased and they're like, hey, they tell a friend, they tell this person, or they talk to people, hey, I met this woman and she wants to apply. I've had case managers from the hospitals And from the, what do you call it? I've had case managers from the hospitals and from the crisis centers come to work for me. Like, seriously, because they see how we manage our business and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a weekend job. Do y'all have a shift? And then they come and work part time for me. I have somebody right now, one of my houses that came from, I believe she came from the crisis center. So I'm saying things like that. Having a good reputation, being a company that does what they say they're going to do. When we take our employees out, we don't take everybody out because that is a HIPAA violation. And that makes businesses like doctor's offices and dentist offices, that's annoying. So if you're doing that, don't do that, because you are not supposed to be taking your clients. And a lot of the agencies and a lot of the doctor offices and counseling offices have respect for us because we don't do that. One employee, one client, if we can't get them transportation, somebody is taking them. Somebody is with them. We have appointment sheets that we fill out the night before and we send them with the client, or we take it with the client. So it's very systematic and organized. So when people see you doing stuff like that, they'll be like, dang, they always on point. Now, I'm not going to say we always on point, but the majority of the time we on point. And so when people see that, they may ask to come and work for you. So there's things that you can do to set yourself apart. My clients don't be at appointments all willy-nilly. I've taken my clients to appointments because nobody could take them. And so I was like, well, I'm free. I'll take them. And so there are things that you have to be open and available to do. And to me, that takes stress off of everybody. The guardian, that takes stress off of my house manager who's trying to figure something out. That takes stress off the case manager. They're like, oh, wow, the owner is taking yeah, I'll take them. I pull up, take them to the appointment, bring them back. I've done it like recently, a couple of months ago. So you have to be open to do what you have to do in your business to make your business successful. And another thing that shows your employees that you don't feel like you're above them. When I do things like that, when I go and I work in my house, when I go on my holidays and relieve my my employees and tell them, you know what? It's Thanksgiving. Go spend it with your family. And I work the house. And I'm not going to say I do it every single holiday now. I used to do it every holiday. But now I just do it when I can. So I'm saying things like that go a long way with your employees. And it just shows them that you don't think you're up here. Just because you're the owner. And that's why my employees go hard for me, y'all. That's why they go hard for me. Because they know I don't think I'm no better than them. All I'm doing is signing your check. But I'm an employee. Look, I'm an employee of my business too. Because I am a S corp, and so I'm an employee too. So I ain't no better. Let me see. My God, you give so much good information that I absolutely will implement in my future home. You really inspire me, doctor. And yes, you're right about the rotten fruit. Yep. That rotten fruit, man, I'm telling you. I watched the video and it was a guy who told a girl, get up in the chair, get up in the chair. And then he told her to pull him up and she couldn't. And then he pulled her down and she came down. He said, see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't, it's harder for you to lift somebody up than it is for them to pull you down. And I said, man, that's powerful right there. Yeah, it is. It's easy for people to pull you down to their level instead of you pulling them up. And that's what we do a lot of times. We link up with people that we think we can pull up. not knowing that it's going to pull us down. But I was just thinking about that when you said that. But so, yeah, absolutely, Ellen. Absolutely. Communication is key. Yes. You have to be in communication with your employees. When they know that you are open and transparent with them about the business, they will feel I feel like, I don't want to say closer, but they will feel, I feel like, more respect for you than if you just doing whatever you want to do and telling them to do it. You know, I've always been taught, I was taught by my dad to be a servant leader. And so I'm always trying to find ways to serve my employees to make sure that they're good. And I'm, like I said, I'm not saying everybody should run their business like this. I just wanted to tell you guys what I am doing in this caregiver crisis that we're having right now. Hey, Justin. Justin said, how do I get in the mentorship? Under pretty much every video, there is an application. There's a job form link, and you can apply to be a part of my mentorship. Right now, I have a 3-month mentorship, a 6-month mentorship, and a 1-year mentorship. And so the differences are the 3 and the 6 month is total group, all on Zoom. And you get to email and you get a couple of emergency calls if you're going through the licensing situation throughout the month. The 1-year mentorship is you basically get anything I have. If you do the 1-year mentorship, I'm not going to say anything I have because it doesn't include policies and all of that. But you get to come to like any event that I have, that I'm the host. You get one-on-ones with me during the month for 1 year, and you also get the group. So that is my mentorship programs, and that is how you get in. Yes, Lotus, leading by example. Yes, that is a part of being a servant leader. And so yeah, so I just wanted to share with you guys some things that I do in my business to hire and to keep employees, because I get calls all the time and people are like, "Oh my God, I can't find no workers," or "Oh my God, you know, I can't keep employees," or, just different situations, depending on what area of the country you're in, really. But these are things that I do that I feel like have made it, I'm not going to say easy to keep employees, but it has made it consistent for me to keep employees. It's because all of these things that I talk to you about, I do in my business. I'm just telling you guys what I do in my business. And like I said, you don't want to be a pushover. You want to establish boundaries in any relationship, including your employee relationship. But you also too want to be flexible, and you want to do things to let them know you appreciate them. Because it ain't just about coming to work and getting a paycheck no more. It's really not, because they can do that anywhere. And so you got to be like a peacock and make yourself look attractive to them. So they will want to be with you. Oh, man. Hey, Justin. I'm finding it difficult to secure a yes for independent living. I don't understand what you're saying. But yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying, Justin. But I don't know what you're talking about. You may want to book a call. I'm not sure if I've had a call with you. Justin doesn't sound familiar to me, but that's my nephew's name. So normally if I hear Justin, I'll remember that person. So I don't think I've had a call with you. So you may want to book a call If you need some assistance with anything, there's links underneath every video. It should be to book a call, to apply for mentorship, for all of that. If you're on this video, let me just state this for my team get mad at me. If you're on this video, like the video. If you enjoyed it, if you got any value out of the video, make sure you like the video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe to the Group Home University. All right? Okay, you guys. So just evaluate your pay. Make sure you're being, you know, competitive in your market. If you can do benefits, do benefits. Sometimes when you first get started, you can't because benefits are not cheap. But if you can, do benefits. And then focus on setting your workplace culture. Try to do things out of the norm because it can attract good employees. And what happens with that is your good employees have family members, they have friends, they have people that they talk to, and then they market your business for you. And that's, you know, I tell y'all, that's a big thing. Marketing, building relationships, networking. So invest in training and support. Make sure you guys are meeting with your employees. That makes them feel valued. That makes them feel like they have a voice when you're meeting with them, not just to beat them over the head, but also to get ideas from them. And so, and then when you implement the ideas they give, that makes them feel so good. Just try it, okay? The more skilled and valued your staff feels, the less likely they are to quit on you. Okay? You make them feel valued. You go the extra mile. Like one time, payroll for some reason didn't go through. Like the person that did it didn't submit it. I literally drove around to take everybody their check. So I'm saying things like that. And y'all know I got quite a few people. I got people 2 hours away. I drove to make sure they got paid because it wasn't nothing I could do. The direct deposit didn't go through. And so things like that shows employees that you value them. You know, hey, the direct deposit didn't go through. I'm about to drive up there and bring y'all a check. And they're about an hour and 45 minutes away. So just be willing to go the extra mile for your employees because they'll do the same for you. Think long term. Don't think about the now. Think long term. It's like when I had the transportation guy go fix the tire. I could have said, you know, we'll do this. We'll plug the tire. And it was $200 and some to replace her tire. You might think of that. And it's not going to happen all the time. So I'm saying, think about the long term. That woman stayed with me before she got her own group home. She stayed with me for years before she got her own group home. And I encouraged them, open your own. She opened her own. And I'm proud of her. So I'm saying, things like that. Yes, I lost an employee. But guess what? Don't you want your birds to grow up and fly away? You know? So you got to think of it that way. I don't want to hold them here forever. Whatever their dreams are, whatever they want to do, I encourage them to do it. You want to go to school, go to school. Do whatever you want to do. I encourage them. And that lets them know, no matter what, somebody supports me. Somebody believes in me. Okay? Belinda says, I like to offer medical benefits. How pricey is that? Or how do I avoid it? How do you avoid offering medical benefits? You would just need to check. A lot of times your payroll company Try ADP. Sometimes you can get benefits through your payroll company. I think even QuickBook has some type of healthcare benefit you can apply for. Yeah. So you just have to figure out ways to, and I'm not saying you can do all of that. Like I said, when you're first getting started, you may not be able to do benefits, but you may know a doctor in the neighborhood that says, you know what, if your employees come to me, because I'm a small business owner too, I'll give them a discount on being seen. I'll give them a discount on x-rays. I'll give them a discount. Build relationships, y'all. Sometimes it ain't about what you pay for. Sometimes it's about bartering. We had a doctor all the way up until we could do insurance. We had a doctor that said, if your employees need, like, what do you call it? A visit, a doctor's visit, I'll do it at a discounted price. So he was doing a doctor, I think his doctor visit was like 85. He did it for us for 45. Then I built a relationship with the dentist that was at one of the commercial buildings to where we got a discount for that. Relationships. There are small business owners everywhere. You just gotta know how to present it to people. You just gotta know how to go talk to people about it, because you just never know, you know? But yeah, Fifi said that's why you got got blessed. Well, yeah, because that's how I live. Be a blessing to someone else. My Bible tells me you're gonna reap what you sow. Therefore, if I'm sowing blessings, guess what? That's what I'm gonna reap. And that's what I want you guys to do. All right, so yeah, so this was part 2 to shocking truths about group home businesses. Things that people don't be telling y'all. You know, that people are out here struggling for caregivers and stuff like that. But these are things you guys need to know. And so this is part 2. Next week, we're going to go over part 3. I told you guys this is a 4-part series, 4-part series. So just to let you guys know, I will be in Houston this weekend speaking at the Healthcare Entrepreneur Tour in Houston. I will be there this weekend, and then I will be in Atlanta Monday and Tuesday. So govern yourselves accordingly. Now, if you're planning on being, if you see this video and you're planning on being at the Healthcare Entrepreneur Tour, let me know so I can link up with you while I'm there. I would be very excited to meet some of you in person. And like I said, if you're on this video, make sure you like the video before we get off. And if you have not subscribed to this channel and you felt like this video brought you any value, make sure that you subscribe, you guys. I love all the questions and comments. Y'all know I love it. When are you coming to DC? I don't know, girl. I don't know. Ugh, DC, let me see. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. The only places I know that I'm going this year, you know, besides vacationing, is I have a graduation that I'm speaking at in Missouri. And then I have another event, I think, in June in Atlanta. And then I have another event in October in Dallas. Yep. Texas loves me. They love me, you guys. Texas loves me. Fifi said, we need you. Well, y'all throw some event together and I'll come and speak. How about that? You can invite me out to speak. I don't charge that much for speaking engagements. So you can definitely have an event and invite me out. But no, this was enjoyable, you guys. I hope you got some good tips to help you through this employee shortage right now. And Hey, I will see you guys back here next week. Booked and busy. I'm trying to be. I'm trying. No, I'm not. I'm just playing. No, I'm pacing myself this year. I just did the most the last 2 years. So I'm kind of chilling at home. The last of the Mohicans, my baby, she graduates this year. So she asked me, Mom, can you stay at home? And so that's why I've been home a lot. So I only leave when it's something big or something that you know, I've already obligated myself for. So yeah. But I enjoyed you guys tonight. Thank you, Fifi. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for making the comments. I appreciate it. Well, you guys, hey, meet me back here next week. And as I always say, be a blessing to someone else. Bye.